Hi guys. I just wanted to talk a little bit right now about a term I'm borrowing from Terence McKenna, which is called the Balkanization of Epistemology. And basically it was McKenna's diagnosis that culture, as we see it, had reached a point of kind of extreme proliferation of different epistemologies all kind of living together and trying to work together. Um, by this, you can just mean basic overarching belief systems. I mean, I think that's a common sense way to phrase it. That we basically have, especially in a pluralist, secular environment like America, a radical proliferation of just basic fundamental metaphysical visions of what reality is, all trying to kind of work together and cooperate. And this is a cliche. But what the dimension I think that Terence was getting at with his analysis was that there's something deeper going on here. There's something metaphysical about the fact that there is this cognitive dissonance in society. And again, if you recognize that reality is ultimately a concept of itself, it's a kind of conceptual vision of its own totality, you start to realize that this balkanization of epistemology is literally a kind of dissonance. It's an actual cultural noise that is created by a low-level anxiety that ultimately all these different cognitive points of view cannot, Humpty Dumpty can't come back together again. I mean, and the way we confront this and the way we deal with it as a source of anxiety in a culture is to basically neutralize it through a overarching secular lens through which we see all phenomenon, all experience, and therefore fundamental ontological belief systems that might estrange you from participating in the overarching metaphysical secular structure are kind of automatically rejected as out of bounds. Not the case. It just can't be the case because I have to participate in a way that it's all those things are secondary to the reality of the culture. And the culture is defined by its balkanization of epistemology, and what you get is a very secular world culture. It's neither good nor bad, that's what happens, but it's got good and bad things to it. And one thing that I want to point out is no easy answers to how to deal with the balkanization of epistemology in culture. But I do want to point out that it does point to a kind of, again, teleological denouement to what human consciousness was all about. Human consciousness which went through phases of growth, understanding, tribalisms, religions, and not even judging which are good or which are bad of those things. I mean, I do think there's been, in some senses, certain things that are progress in human knowledge, and other things and other belief systems that have been devolutions of human knowledge. So I think there are objective truths about the goodness of where human epistemology has gone. But now we've reached a point where it's maximal noise, and there's no one knows how to make it all coalesce into a vision of reality that's consistent. And so we all are kind of hemming and hawing along, and the problems of the world are, we don't even know if they are increasing. I mean, this is the whole anxiety of modernity and contemporary 21st century life, is that even whether or not it's all going to hell in a handbasket or whether it's all getting better all the time is a mystery. There's just a total noise. I think David Foster Wallace had a term called total noise to describe a lot of modern culture, and it is information has reached a point in consciousness of maximal download and maximal manipulation, and without going back to visions of reality that are cleaner, in a sense simpler, but not really, but simpler in a total sense. You know, you make sense of the one big idea that's important to understand, and from there you can start to maneuver through the world and make smaller sense. But we try to make sense of all the little pieces without having an overarching system to put it into anymore. And the vision that Christianity actually represented a literal super meme that was supposed to take over the world, that in the sense that it will convert the consciousnesses of humanity as the ultimate meme, the ultimate mental virus, if you will, but it's a virus of goodness. That vision is even afraid to be asserted by Christians. It's a radical vision. I mean, there's no sense, there is a sense where it doesn't fit with trying to maintain a pluralist society where no one's right or wrong. I mean, I can't say, nor can anyone say, how the works of judgment and salvation function. But for your situation, the important thing is to ask yourself, well, what do I need to do to transform myself properly? And as the super meme, because again, the program is a structure of itself. Christianity invites the person who hears the message of it into its mechanistic narrative of release into a higher dimensional understanding of what it's all made of and how the system functions, and the gifts of the Holy Spirit will come. So that's just kind of the point I wanted to make quickly about that, and I will talk to you again very soon. Thanks. Bye.